とう、綺麗なお姉さん。
いい子ね。
Maggie, would you please stop petting that child? It's creepy. Alright then, episode 2, day 2, school's out, so we can get down to what's important. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
チュートリアルバトルで僕2機も落とせたし。
俺は1機だった。
I guess Riku didn't get credit for that zombie Leo, or the PvP kill. Maybe that's because he used Yuki's beam saber. Actually, if that's what happened, that opens up some interesting story potential. Especially if Yuki got credit for it, because then he could tell Riku, hey, you know, you should have gotten the credit. Make him seem more supportive. Open up some interesting story potential.
リク君、ユキオ君。今日こそ一緒にサッカー部に行ってもらうわよ。
It might be hard to see the subtle eye movements, but this is the awkward silence in the awkward situation. Especially Riku's face, because that is just so relatable.
あんなとこに猫みたいなハロが。
猫？足元にコブラガンダムみたいなヘビが。
I've been enjoying the Gundam references up until this point, but even I think this is a bit excessive. On the way to play GBN, Yuki asks Riku why he didn't try Trans Am in the first episode. The real answer is because the writers wanted to save it for this episode, but Riku just wasn't sure if it was gonna work. Pretty obvious setup what we're gonna be doing in this episode, but we need to go to GBN to use Trans Am, so let's dive on in! What a coincidence! The main characters just happen to meet up, but you know what? We can't rely on plot convenience for the entire show, so all three of them friend each other on, I'm just gonna call this Gunpla Plus.
いきなりいなくなっちゃったから心配してたのよ。
Oh, I'm fine. We were just about to go to No, we can't go there. That's way too expensive. Instead, we'll go to McDaniel Hamburgers. Yes, McDaniel Hamburgers. A technically different restaurant, even though everyone knows what we're talking about, but this way we don't have to pay the money or have to worry about a big legal contract. I mean, it's not like there's real Gundam-themed cafes in real life or anything. And what would a Gundam-themed McDaniel Hamburgers look like? Oh, there it is. Now that we've got our mission, we have to actually get there, and since the guest mode mechanic only allows one passenger, Yuki and Sarah have to put themselves in Riku's capable...
Do a barrel roll!
Outline combined with stereotypical exaggerated arm flapping. That's the kind of joke you can only get away with in something like Build Divers, not one of the Gundam anime where falling out of the mobile suit is actually dangerous. Here it's funny. And it's such a nice day. We can fly around, enjoy the scenery. Ooh, violence! Let's go look at that! This is a force battle. A force in this show is kind of like a guild, kind of like a faction, and as your team levels up, you can create custom levels, custom game modes, and all by using the Force. Naturally, Riku wants to start his own Force as soon as possible, but Yuki tells him that he needs to level up first because Yuki has actually researched this game. Sarah wants to know how Trans Am works, and Yuki being the show's Gundam expert, he kind of over-explains it. I mean, the way his glasses are glaring, the fact that he's wagging his finger like, I am a Gundam expert and I will explain it in super elaborate detail. This is just funny. And then Riku gives a more practical explanation, and Sarah's just trying to be polite, telling Yuki, no, your explanation was good too. Trans Am is basically a short performance boost with the downside that you get diminished performance as the system recovers. An important thing about Trans Am in this show is that whether or not you can use it and how effective it is determined by the build quality of the Gunpla itself. That's not the most important thing about Trans Am though. The most important thing about Trans Am is that it changes color, which means, hey, we can sell you 2 model kits. One for the regular, and one for the special Trans Am version, and yes, you have to buy it separately.
Can't you feel its pain?
The average player would find all these danger signs really annoying. After this, Sarah tells Riku not to use Trans Am because she can sense the pain of Gunpla, and Riku's like, alright, I won't use Trans Am, okay. Sarah still seems a little depressed, but Yuki chimes in with, hey, weren't we supposed to be picking flowers? Yes, that was their mission, so they pick the flowers, they take a picture, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but look at how Riku smiles. It's like he's trying to convince Sarah that, no, I'm having fun! Picking flowers in a video game where I could pilot a giant robot. No, Sarah, I'm having fun! This cheers up Sarah, so they're walking around enjoying the scenery and, hey look, it's Doji! Now I'm depressed. This is Doji's older brother Ogre. He's the one who gets to fight Riku in the opening credits every episode, so naturally he assumes that these are the people that challenged him to a Gunpla battle, and then they have to explain that, nope, they're just here picking flowers. And that's why Doji doesn't have any friends. The best part of this exchange is that Yuki actually calls him out on what he did in episode 1, and the only response he can come up with is just to panic and go, "Nuh-uh, I didn't do anything." This is why I'm wondering if Ogre just lets Doji tag along out of pity. Maybe his parents told him, if you're gonna play that video game, you gotta let your brother tag along with you. Cause here we have another one of those perfect expressions of, not this again. Oh good, the challengers are here, so we can get to the battle! Hellfire Ogre versus the Black Tri-Stars! Despite obviously being a reference to the Black Tri-Stars, these guys are at best a pale imitation. The Black Tri-Stars are from the original Gundam series, and their jet stream attack is supposed to use superior numbers combined with teamwork to overwhelm the opponent. This is more like desperate fumbling, which is why when Ogre does this finishing move, I think he's just toying with his opponent. Well, things are getting desperate, so the leader activates something called a break boost. This makes your Gunpla more powerful at the cost of turning it evil. Yes, it is so evil, it makes Sarah nauseous. They already established that Sarah can sense the pain of Gunpla, and here the Gunpla is clearly struggling under the break boost. I mean, the arm literally just kind of breaks. But no, they have to go for the really in-your-face, ham-fisted approach of, it's making Sarah suffer, we have to do something! And since now they both have a common enemy, Ogre and Riku team up to save the day! And now we're all friends and we have to hang out with Doji! Well, at least they're not friends with Doji yet. Ogre just wants to fight, so Yuki, why don't you help us out here? Oh yeah, Yuki didn't bring his Gunpla today because he's working on it. Begs the question why he couldn't just bring another Gunpla. The good news is, Riku's kind of able to hold off Ogre. The bad news is... he can use Trans Am, and he has a cool theme song! That sound, I know it's a different sound, but doesn't that kind of remind you of... kind of makes you want to watch Gundam 00 now, doesn't it? You got these giant robots doing Kaioken, and yeah, it's the same thing. You got the bright red aura, power boost, and then you have to recover from it afterwards. So Riku, why don't you try it? Sarah jumps in to save Riku, and I really hope this next line was something lost in translation. Based on the delivery of that line, I choose to interpret this as Ogre being surprised that someone jumped out in front of the killer robot. As Ogre leaves, the exhaust blows the petals off the flower, so we get some nice visuals. Despite everything that's happened, Sarah is still her understanding, optimistic self, so I guess all is forgiven. This was a very humbling experience for Riku. He tried to use Trans Am, then he promised Sarah he wouldn't use Trans Am, and then he kind of... failed at using Trans Am. There's a lot of strong players in GBN, and it's a good thing all these mobile suits are virtual machines because they seem to just repair themselves by the next episode. We did some good character development and world building without too many distractions, so let's head home. Back in the real world, our heroes walk in on Momo's cosplay montage. I don't know how one walks in on a montage, but it's nice that Momo's getting into the Gundam franchise. Our heroes seem a bit confused by this. Okay, stop staring, you're making this awkward. This is the Hypervisor, signing off.